This should go without saying, but just in case, disclaimer, do not contact anybody in this tweet thread. Do not harass them. Do not threaten them. We don't condone that here, obviously. Let's just talk amongst ourselves as we do. Because Froskurinn had another great hot take, because she's had so many of those this year. So let's see what she had to say now, right? This was last night. She says, I wish internet communities would recognize that their spaces have been infiltrated, manipulated, and hijacked by nefarious groups via quote-unquote meme propaganda. Quote-unquote just jokes, bro, until hatred becomes normalized, then becomes radicalized, then becomes a hate crime. She's obviously referencing what happened in Buffalo. I have heard that there was some kind of manifesto. Don't know all the details regarding it. And look, hey, to be fair, maybe, right? Maybe she has a point here. Maybe it's possible that this person was radicalized by certain things. But you know what? By and large, normal people don't act that way, right? There's usually some other things at play. Some kind of mental disorder, some kind of other mitigating factors regarding people doing things like this, horrendous things like this, right? There's always something more at play than just, people consuming edgy jokes online. All right, let's be real here. And for the most part, in these communities, right, these internet communities that she's speaking of, a lot of times when people take it too far, these communities do usually police themselves and oust people that they think might be going a little bit too far, right? But there's no way to know for sure. In fairness, there's no way to know for sure. But she goes on to do what you would expect somebody in the gaming industry to do, right? And that is invoke GamerGate. If that's what you guessed, then you are 100% correct that she would invoke GamerGate, because that seems to be the trend now, right? Even the mainstream media within the last couple years now wants to invoke GamerGate when something happens that is, I guess, considered to be really horrific, right? January 6th must have been Gamergaters. Trump getting voted into office must have been Gamergaters, things like that. It's always the fault of Gamergaters. They always resurrect it from the dead to put the blame on Gamergaters, right? And here we go again. Gamergate was a great example about how language and a cause were hijacked by bad faith actors who wanted nothing to do with gaming communities until they recognized they could weaponize the conflict for their own agenda. That's interesting. You know what? I might actually agree with that. You mean people like Anita Sarkeesian, who said this? This Anita Sarkeesian?
It's a soundtrack of one song, except I'm doing video games. So it's not exactly a fandom. I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this. And also, video games, I would love to play video games, but I don't want to go around shooting people and ripping off their heads, and it's just gross. So, hence, this is my response to that.
That Anita Sarkeesian, the one that used gaming to essentially push her, third wave radical feminist ideology. Totally not an agenda, though, right? Because, look, if you're referring to her, then, hey, we might actually be in agreement, Frosk. She goes on to then tweet this, right? And if you would like to read up on how Gamergate was used by these bad faith actors and directly played into radicalization pipelines online, I recommend Alt-Right from 4chan to White House by Mike Wendling. Or if you'd rather watch, and then she puts this documentary. And I'm sure that these things that she's pointing people to, because she has this habit, right? She never provides any kind of empirical data herself. She just sits there and refers people to other forms of propaganda. And let me tell you, Frost sure does know quite a bit about propaganda herself. This is something she tweeted out back March 14th of 2018. Right now, of course, this is gone now because she nuked her Twitter. But look at this. She shared this, my new pocket square, right? Where she had different pictures of communist propaganda, okay? Including this one, right? Look at this. I don't know. That seems like it could be a little problematic, Frosk. But she would be an expert, right? And I know what you're thinking. It's like, hey, this could be a fake tweet. Well, the one underneath it isn't. The response to it, as you can see here, archived. But we know that she nuked her Twitter. I'm inclined to believe that this is probably true, right? Given her stances on stuff. So, but again, in fairness, it could be fake. It could be fake. But she's the last person that needs to be talking about propaganda and things like that, in my opinion, considering the kind of shit that she pushes on a daily on her social media. So, but that's fine. Hey, you know what? We live in America. We live in America, and she's free to express her views however she'd like. I mean, Twitter, once again, hey, it is a free speech platform. Thank you, Papa Elon Musk, for that. But let me know what you all think about this. I think it's just it's par for the course with her, right? At this point,